But if I was to get every book for the price that I'd be happy to pay for them, that would mean that throughout January I am going to spend a staggering woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus aka the Mad Dog and we're back with another video. It's the beginning of the month, so you know that can mean only one thing on this channel that isn't Whale Watch. Yep, it's time for another episode of Pull List. This is a video that I do once a month where I take a look at all the books that are coming out, courtesy of the Uncanny Omar doing his video of all the releases for this month. And because you all know that I've got both a spending and a drinking problem, I tried to tackle one of those issues by making a budget for the books that are coming out. And the slimmest of slim chances that you're watching this video before you've checked out the Uncanny Omars, please make sure that you check his video out and give him some love. But let's just jump into it, and we're starting with January 6th, and because of the schedule that I've got for this channel now that I'm now implementing in 2021, that date is more than likely already passed by the time that this video has been released. But still, I'm in the UK, I could probably do this video next year and some of these omnibuses would still have not made it across the year. And some of the books that made it into the pull list last month unfortunately got pushed back, so if you're hearing a few repeat names, that's the reason why. And one of those books that was pushed back was the first one that I'm going to mention, which is the Infinity Crusade Omnibus. Like I said last time, I've got Infinity Gauntlet, I've got Infinity War, so I kind of need this to complete that trilogy, and it is that rationale that's going to make me end up buying the Thanos Infinity Saga Omnibus. But for this one, I don't feel like I need it urgently, and also I don't really think it's at risk of going out of print immediately, so if I can get this book for around about £65, I'm going to be happy with that, and I'll be happy to complete this trilogy and enter it into the dog pound. Next up, bit of a weird one, it's the Moon Knight Omnibus. I really like Moon Knight as a character, and I remember the run that was drawn by David Finch. I can't remember who wrote the book, even though somebody's probably going to feel the need to put it in the comments below. And also read the Bendis run, which I know a lot of people didn't like, but I kind of enjoyed just because it's kind of quirky and goofy. But I think it's a character that doesn't really get enough love, and I don't really know too much about the origins of him, so I like these omnibuses that occasionally come out. I've got the one for the Punisher, so if I saw this on sale and maybe it was about £60, then yeah, I'd pick this up, but it isn't something that I feel like I need. Especially in this first week where there's so many omnibuses that are coming out, I feel like this is one that I could comfortably put on the back burner. Next up, this is one of my most wanteds of last month, but it's the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 3. And we've all heard it by now that Diamond's pretty much confirmed that this is already out of stock before it's even been released. But I'm not too worried, because that's the same thing that I did for the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 1, and then ended up paying cover price for it, whereas if I would have waited just a few more months, I would have got it for a really good price. But I'm really happy that I'm able to pick up this set again. I completely slept on it when I was first getting into comics because I was just prioritising my money on other books. I did quite well with Volume 2, I think I got it for under £50, but if I could get this one for 60, then I'm going to be happy with that. The fourth omnibus that's coming out this week that I want is also a Volume 4, because it's a Savage Sword of Conan. I love this series, the art in this is so beautiful, and it's just fun jumping into these stories. I can just read it at any time. It's a character that I love, and I think this might be one of the best representations of Conan. I much prefer this over the original Marvel years, even though they've both got the charms. But I'm loving this series. I will buy as many omnibuses as they will crank out, and if I can get this for around about £60, then it's definitely entering the dog pound. The last hardcover omnibus for this week is the X-Men by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee Volume 1. This book came out about 10 or so years ago, and I just didn't have that much money to spend on comics, but this was one that I always had my eye on. Since then, I've never seen it for a decent price. I feel blessed that we're even getting a reprint of it, so for me, if I can find this for £70, then I'm getting it. And the last book for the first week of January is the Harrow County Omnibus. Obviously this is softcover, but that doesn't bother me too much. I missed out on the library editions because you can't really get Volume 2 now. It sounds like they're not really prioritising bringing them back in print, so I'm just happy to get this series in a different format, so I will pick up these softcover omnibuses if I can find them for about £15. The cover price for this seems decent for the amount of issues that you get in it, so I might even go a little bit higher than 15, but this is something that I'd like to pick up and read. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I don't really think I've read too much Cullen Bunn already, but who knows, if both omnibuses are out by October, it'd be good to do this for a Halloween read. So for just the first week of January, if I was to get every book that I wanted at least the price that I'm comfortable to pay, I would be spending a staggering £330 on comics. But the week after that is January 13th, and there's something even more terrifying than that £330 spend. I even had to check Omar's video twice, because on January the 13th, I've got a total spend of absolutely nothing. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening here, but there was nothing that I fancied, so there's no point putting something on just so that I can pad out the list. Maybe something's changed in me since I did that video where I totaled up all the money that I'd spent last year on comics, and maybe now I'm being a bit more rational about it. He says after a week that just had 5 omnibuses on it, but still, I didn't think I'd see the day where this happened, but either way, nothing for January 13th. Now before we get into the second half of January, if you're new to the channel, make sure you get your paws all over that subscribe button so that you can become part of the dog pound. And I'm trying to put out about 3 videos a week, so make sure that you hit the bell notification so that you never miss a video. And if you're enjoying it so far, please give this a thumbs up, and as well check out our Reddit page, which is r/MadDogComic community. There's already so much good stuff on there, so make sure you give us a follow, post your hauls in there, maybe say what your pull list is going to be for this month. But anyway, let's get back to seeing how much money I'm planning on spending this month. January 20th, and this is a skinny week as well. The first book that I've got on here is Chew Volume 1. This is a sequel series to Chew, so it gets a little bit difficult when you're pronouncing it, and especially when you've got an accent like mine that not many people understand anyway. But I read Chew, I think it was in 2018, it was before I had this channel, and I think it had a really great start, but I just felt like it would have been much better if it was only about 30 issues long. I feel like a lot of the jokes and the plot devices just wore a little bit thin by the end, and it was a real grind to get to that 60th issue. However, I've had a bit of time away from it, and I collected the original series in paperback, so it's not really too much of a big deal for me to go to paperback for the sequel. I normally just like the formats to match, and I don't really plan on upgrading my Chew volumes anyway. So if I can get this for about £8, then that's something that I'd be happy to buy, and hopefully can just reinvigorate my passion for this title. And the last book that I've got for this week is a complete blind buy. It's the Witchblade Compendium Volume 1. I wasn't really too sure if those hardcover compendiums were oversized or not. If it's a case it's a standard sized hardcover, I'd prefer to just get a paperback version of it anyway, and it seems like they have got more plans to keep these in print. I know absolutely nothing about this title, but it's one of those formation image titles, so I really want to go back to this time and see exactly what all the buzz was about. Like, one of the videos that I'd like to do eventually on this channel is like a full retrospective of Image Comics, like how they started and how they ended up being who they are today. I can't really do that if I don't collect some of the earlier titles, so because of the fact that I don't really know if I'm going to like this series, I'm happy with the paperback of it, and the cover price for this is quite low anyway, so if I could be cheeky and maybe see this for £16, then it's going to be a must buy. So if I was to get both of the books that I want this week for the price that I wanted them, that means that I'm going to add £24 to my January spends. Then we come to January 27th, which is the last week for this month, and it seems like they've boosted up the number of titles that have been released. Firstly, and this is a book that I've already got pre-ordered, is the Captain America Omnibus by Ed Brubaker. Yeah, I know if you look closely you can see that I've already got the original printing of this, but I love that direct market variant dust jacket so much that I'm willing to buy it again. And as well, this was one of the first omnibuses that Marvel printed, so I don't really feel like they knew exactly what they were doing, because it looks like mine's got glued binding. So I've been a bit hesitant to go back and properly read this. It was a series that I loved when I was growing up, but because of the fact that the omnibus doesn't feel as sturdy as some of the later ones that they printed, I feel like I've missed out on that a little bit. So that, coupled with the fact that it's got a beautiful new dust jacket, means that I'm going to buy this. And like I said, I've got it pre-ordered from Forbidden Planet, and I think I've got it for about £55. Next up, and it's another eagerly anticipated release, it's Venom by Donny Cates Volume 2. So this is the oversized hardcover, and I absolutely loved the first one. I got it as a Christmas gift last year, and I read it pretty much in a single weekend. And if you've watched this channel for a little bit of time, you know that that doesn't happen often, so that just proves how much of an achievement this is. I've also got Absolute Carnage, but I haven't really read too much of that just yet, so this second volume I am really looking forward to. I'd be happy to get this for about £18 because I'm pretty much going to read it as soon as it comes in. Next up, and it's an omnibus line that I didn't know if DC was going to continue with, but it's the New Teen Titans Volume 5. I can't wait until I've got all these volumes and then I can just blast through them in one go. Years ago I read about halfway through Volume 1 and then I sold them so that I could get the new editions, and I've read the Judith Contract as well, and I just love this era of comics. Sure, they are a little bit weirdy, but again, I'm going to wait until all of them are released so that I can just binge right through them. But even though I'm not going to be reading it straight away, if I can find Volume 5 for about £45, then it's definitely going to make it into a future haul. And the last book for this week also happens to be the last book for January, but it's The Complete Darkness Volume 1. I just find it so funny when a title says The Complete and then it's a Volume 1, like it isn't complete. Like, I know you don't want me to bring this up again, but look at Iron Man by Matt Fraction, The Complete Collection. It said Volume 1, it says complete, but we never got a Volume 2, did we? Just breathe. But this might seem a bit hypocritical because of the fact that I was happy to get Witchblade in softcover, but I want the hardcover of The Darkness. But I remember playing that PS3 game, and I know that this game was probably awful, but I played it when I was a lot younger, so it was just really cool to me. I like this character, but I don't really know too much about it, but again, it's the early years of Image Comics. And I think I'm going to use 2021 to really broaden my horizons with the titles that I read. So I'm really happy that they're doing Spawn compendiums as well, because that's a series that I've always wanted to read more of. And The Darkness is something that I probably never would have picked up whilst I was reading single issues, but now is a year where I want to give more titles a try. But this did have a pretty decent cover price for the amount of issues that was contained in it, so if I can find this for even less than that, at maybe about £25, then I want to jump on this. So if I was to get all the books that I wanted for the week of January 27th, that would mean that I'm spending £143. And before I even started doing this video, I was just praying that January would mean that I'm not spending as much as I've done in the past couple months. But if I was to get every book for the price that I'd be happy to pay for them, that would mean that throughout January I am going to spend a staggering £497. Even if that is a little bit less than the months that have come before, that's still quite a staggering amount of money. But that's why I do this video. I think it's important to be aware with yourself of how much you would end up spending if you got books for the price that you wanted. And it might even be the case that you're not even aware of what the highest is that you'd pay for a book. Sometimes when you just see it in stock and it's 10 quid more than you'd be happy to pay for, you end up just getting it because it's not too far out of the budget. But if you did that for every single book, you'd end up spending hundreds more each month. So it is always important to sit down with yourself and realize how much you're intended to spend and make sure that you've got that money to spend. And if you have, by all means just go for it, that's fine. And on the off chance that you buy them from Amazon, please use one of my Amazon affiliate links, it will greatly help. But that's my poll list for January, and I want to hear how much would it be that you're intending to spend if you get every book that you want this month. As well, just a quick note, the light in this room has unfortunately broke, so I've just got the 2 soft boxes at the minute and one of those is broke as well. So if there's been a little bit of an issue with the lighting, please just allow it and try and get it fixed as quickly as possible. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't like this video, why did you get this far? If you're new to the Dog Pound, make sure that you get your paws all over that subscribe button and click the bell notification so that you never miss a video. I said it before and I said it again, 2021 is going to be the maddest year for this channel and you want to make sure that you're a part of it. Check out some of my social media links, and as well we've got our own Reddit page which is r/MaddogComicCommunity. But that's all I've got to say for now, except for the fact that I've got a review coming out Sunday, and make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad all you dogs. Woof woof, see you at the next video.